Jeffs. The midfielder number 32, Johnny McBeth. The midfielder in Rapp. That defense, wearing number 4, Brian Pallet. The midfielder wearing number 6, Kieran Tolan. That defense, wearing number 3, Keith Trout. The defense, wearing number 28, Christopher Walter. And the midfielder, number 17, Bailey Winkle. That's Buffalo is coached by Brian Knapp.
Bob Roach and your head coach, Brendan Murphy. Now we ask that you rise and remove your hats and face left for the performance of today's United States National Anthem. Thank you.
I'm Jeff Boyd, joined here today by Justin Ehrig. We are from the 716 Sports Podcast here, joining our friends at WNY Media here to bring you the stream here of this contest here this evening. A big MPSL contest as the Blitzers look to clinch some more big points. They're coming off a very successful road trip, successfully finishing a home-and-home against FC Indiana, winning 1-0 on the road at FC Indiana, and then getting a big draw, 3-3 against Indy 11 MPSL, a team that is no stranger to winning some late-season contests. A little bit of a change in the starting lineup you'll notice today for the Blitzers. Bailey Winkle, number 17, will be getting the start. Johnny McBeth, who's been nursing a number of injuries, is not getting the start here today. So we'll see if that has any sort of impact on the roster here today. But normally, McBeth would be one of the stalwarts on the back. So be interested to see what Coach Murphy and his squad do here today. FC Buffalo in their home blue with yellow trim and boots. They will be playing from broadcast left to right. Visiting AFC Cleveland in white with black shorts. And they will be starting the first half here, going from broadcast right to left. Thank you for joining me, Justin. I know it's been a little while since we've had you on the stream. I'm excited you're able to join me today.
My first time on the mic. I'm excited to watch this match today. It's another important weekend for FC Buffalo to take on AFC Cleveland. They lost to them last time back in May. They take on the Rochester River Dogs tomorrow. Cleveland's a very good, very organized team, so Buffalo's got to really try to avoid any kind of mental breakdowns today.
Yeah, AFC Cleveland, no slouches coming in today at 6-0-1 on the season, yet to be handed a loss. So certainly a big chance for FC Buffalo to prove their mettle here today. Starting 11 for FC Buffalo will be Nick Jeffs in goal. Walter, Trout, Acuna Camacho, and Paredes on the back. Donaldson, McGrath, Macbeth, and Winkle, along with Toland in midfield. And it is Romario Gascott, number 10, who will be the lone striker up front. For AFC Cleveland, it is Flowers in goal, joined on the back by Beck, Long, McGivern, and Cveko, Derezik, Gina, Sanda, Potachik, and Crawford up the middle. And their lone striker will be wearing number 9. That is Victor Bell. Just about ready to get underway here today. Cleveland will be starting here off the opening kickoff, taking the ball. Again, moving from our right to left. And we are underway, as it is Bell who will make the first play. As we get ready to start here, this MPSL contest, FC Buffalo and AFC Cleveland is underway. Long up the right side, headband and all, looking for his man there. Couldn't quite get it to Beck, and an early turnover. Paredes. Donaldson will turn. He's a little bit wider here today with the absence of Johnny Macbeth. Usually plays straight up the middle at a sort of center defensive mid. Moving up here to the right side, at least early on. Beck. Leaves it back. Derezik. Cross. McGivern up the right side. Cleveland looks to push the action a little bit here. A little bit of timidness here from both teams off the opening whistle. But AFC Cleveland able to set up here a little bit. Long takes his time, drives it, knocked down nicely there. And now Romario Gascott for FC Buffalo with a little bit of room. On to Toland, but just a touch too far. Turned around by McGivern, and now Cleveland back the other way. Contact through the back, and a foul is called. Cleveland will have an early free kick.
I like to see Bailey Winkle in the starting lineup today, as he came into the late substitution in the last home game, gave him a nice shot in the arm in the offense.
And certainly with his action over the last 3 games has earned himself the spot here today with that spot in the lineup open. And as Justin mentioned, someone who has a lot of speed and can really stretch the game on the outside, created a good number of scoring chances in his time here in their last home contest. Into the box goes the ball, batted up over the goal by Potachik. But he didn't have much he could do with that one. Ends up being batted out of play for a throw. So number 4, Brian Paredes here on the near right side. Defense, though, quickly by Cleveland. Back the other way, McGivern. Turns, past midfield. Finds his man there. That's Potachik. Back it goes. Derezik. A little bit of a hesitation move by Crawford. Leaves it. And they'll backtrack. Forced back nicely there by the midfield of the Blitzers. Gascott, the lone man up there, pressuring McGivern, who turns and turns it over. Gascott, a little bit of miscommunication there with Toland, it looked like, and now Gina. Turning around, man running up the near side here. Good run by Beck for Cleveland. On the outside here, looking to get it into the box. He steps in. Pressured outside by Paredes, throws it into the middle. Turning now, an effort on goal from Crawford is scooped up there nicely. Good early touch for Nick Jeffs. The 4th minute of play here early on from All High Stadium. First shot on goal comes courtesy of AFC Cleveland. Paredes knocks that one down in midfield, turns. Toland, one touch to McGrath. Back to Bailey Winkle here. Maybe small in stature, certainly not small in speed and athleticism. You'll see him in front of us here, near side wearing number 17. Trout will turn, gets it over to David Acuna Camacho with his first touch of the match. Up near side, the captain, Chris Walter. Touched on by Toland. Gascott is running in, still getting there, contacted, and maybe went to ground a little early there. It'll be a goal kick.
I will do my best to provide color commentary today, but I am also trying to pay attention to the NHL draft via Twitter.
Yeah, it is a big day here in Buffalo sports. NHL draft, of course, being held downtown. There are a lot of things going on there, and even with all of that, the crowd here today, as big as I've seen it all season. I know a lot of our loyal fans who have stopped by and said hi wouldn't have missed this game for anything. One touchdown to Scott by Tolan. Tries to play it through. More contact on the far side. And Cleveland will regroup. Near side now taken by Long. Long touches it up to Beck. I apologize to Johnny Macbeth, who was not announced as starting, but is in fact on the field, number 32. A big collision there at midfield between Gina and Donaldson. Will lead to an FC Buffalo throw. Scott. Whistle called. A little bit of a handball there from the Blitzers, number 10. And it'll end up being a free kick here for Cleveland, taken by Long. Picture perfect weather here today for this game at All High Stadium. Nice breeze, not a cloud in the sky. And summer has truly arrived here in Western New York. Back to action now, Cleveland. Derezik looking for something, finds his man. Sonda leaves it back now, taken by Patoknik. Drives it into the box and knocked away nicely there by Paredes. Kind of knuckleballs. Walter kicks it up ahead. Taken away. Gina. Oh, nicely played away there by Paredes. Scott getting back to challenge, but Cleveland keeps it deep. Bailey Winkle coming back with a nice play. Gets tangled up and draws the foul. Perfect tackle there from Winkle. Stopping a good effort. Trout drives it near side over the head of Winkle and taken immediately back by Long. Patoknik. Left for Gina. Turns and turns it over. Taken away nicely by Toland. Ball pinballing around here. Cleveland's still able to keep their men deep. McGivern tries to drive it up far side, looking for Sveko, and couldn't get it to it. Toland heads it on, looking for Scott. Scott plays it through, looking for Toland, and almost got him loose. McGivern was the last man back there. I don't think he even realized it was in his feet for a second, but was able to scoop it up. Trout, who plays it all the way back to Nick Jeffs. Jeffs being quickly pressured, but able to turn and swing it around here near side to Paredes. Paredes to McGrath. McGrath boots it far side, looking for the running Johnny Macbeth. And couldn't quite get it to him. Scott in the middle, forcing the play. 1-on-2. Goes to ground. And a foul is called on Scott. Flowers out to quickly separate his man. Long not happy with Scott's aggressiveness, although it appeared to be mutual. Regardless, it'll be a Cleveland free kick. Flowers will take it near side. Leaves it for McGivern. Play for the majority has been on the feet of Cleveland so far as we enter the 9th minute of play. FC Buffalo has really found their legs at home over the last few weeks. Nicely played there by Acuna. Camacho drives it up. Scott has a little bit of room. Not quite in behind anyone and wasn't able to knock that one down cleanly. Long. Near side for Beck. Beck pressured by Winkle, forced to the outside. Turns back. Winkle still on him. The two jostle. Turning. Beck now. Up ahead. Finds his man. Able to keep it in there. On the near side is Patoknik, but the only way for him to go was right to Trout. Trout up ahead looking for Scott, who was probably offsides. Scott tracking back to stay onside. Misses the ball. All the way back to Flowers. Flowers far side. McGivern. He'll settle it down. Sveko. Over to Crawford. Back to McGivern. Swings it near side. Scott, the one-man forecheck. But Cleveland still able to enter the Buffalo end. Left here near side now. Beck immediately back to Long.
For all their time with the ball so far, it's been difficult for Cleveland to find anything clean through. Donaldson gets it to Winkle, does a nice job getting himself free for that ball. Challenge, though, nicely taken away by Long. Immediately looking back upfield, knocked down by Paredes. That defensive four that has really been the backbone of this FC Buffalo team throughout their season. So far, withstanding the pressure. Just that one shot that has made it through to Nick Jeffs, and even that at ground level. Swung back to the middle, Sonda. Near side he goes to Beck. And Beck wasn't quite able to keep it in play. Near side linesman says it's out for a throw. Paredes will take it here. We'll see if Coach Brandon Murphy signals a few players further forward here. FC Buffalo really not able to get a lot of pressure going early on. As we mentioned early on in this broadcast, AFC Cleveland yet to lose a game here in their MPSL regular season, come in today at 6-0-1. FC Buffalo unable to come away with a victory in an early season road contest against this Cleveland team. Potoknik pressured by Macbeth a little bit, forced back. McGivern. Tons of time and room. Nice run in again here on the near side. Beck has been able to find some room. It's taken away. A little bit of one-on-one game he's got developing here with Bailey Winkle, as both men have scored victories so far. Gina. Nicely chipped through, but taken away there as quickly as it was put through there. Brian Paredes able to answer. Ball gets in behind. Cascada's all tangled up with Long. And the Situation Room none too happy. And Long and Cascada with words for each other yet again.
Very defensive posture here by FC Buffalo to see all their men back for most of the match thus far. And relying on a quick transition game in terms of attack, just looking for Gascott breaking whenever they get the ball.
And we'll see if maybe some of the offensive-minded substitutions that we have come to know Coach Brendan Murphy to make will maybe be able to stem the tide here. Sam Biles, Jim Orvis amongst others. Romario Gascott now turning, trying to find his man in the box, looking for Winkle, couldn't quite get it through. Still pressure, but Gina, who cycles back. Nicely played through the legs of Sonda, and Cleveland, as quickly as they were on the defense, right back on the attack. Zarezic. Taken away. Johnny Macbeth. Man of the match, it feels at home more often than he is not. Donaldson. Near side, Paredes with a little bit of room to work. He'll walk it up to midfield, boots it across. And there's tons of room over there for Macbeth. Man running alongside him, Macbeth from distance. And one hops into the arms of Flowers. Daresic. Near side, through the middle, to Potoknik, to Gina. Gina back to Potoknik, swept away nicely by McGrath. And now for an FC Buffalo throw after pinballs through some legs. Paredes. Thrown in. Winkle tries to chip it to Scott, didn't quite get all of it. And quickly back now is Beck. Taken away there by Donaldson and Toland. Donaldson through to McGrath. Chips it on, looking near side. Kieran Toland with a little bit of room here in the corner of the box. Chips it across. And Johnny Macbeth was not quite able to get there. Going one-on-one with Sveko coming back. Kieran Toland with that left wrist wrapped. You mentioned some of the injuries and the little bangs and bruises that you see these players acquire throughout the season. Goaltender Nick Jeffs missed some time with an upper body injury. Johnny Macbeth was attended to twice on the sideline during their last home game against FC Indiana. And now Toland we see supporting that wrist wrap, although as a midfielder, not as most of his body part. Scott was clean through, gets tangled up, and much to the chagrin of Bailey Winkle, the Situation Room, and the entire FC Buffalo squad. Scott guilty of the infraction. It looked like he was the one trying to make the play on the ball. Instead, it is Long who will take this free kick for AFC Cleveland. Headband and all, Long to the ball. Drives it up ahead. Tried to be one-touched on there by Bell. Taken away nicely. And Bailey Winkle now, with a little bit of time, makes a nice move to the outside. Bailey Winkle with some room. Gascott plays it across nicely. McGrath. Supporters starting to grow in support here. Nicely through by Macbeth, back to McGrath. Through to Winkle, knocked down from behind, arms up. Appeals go unanswered. Situation growing in frustration.
The quickness of Bailey Winkle is unbelievable. It created literally something from nothing on that play.
That play from start to finish, Bailey Winkle creating the turnover, making the first great turn to lose Bell, and was almost the one on the end of getting that shot on goal. Not a lot of contact there, to be honest. Bell, one-on-one in the middle, wins himself some room. Tangled up all the way through, and is guilty of a foul. Played there beautifully. Picture-perfect positional defense there from Keith Trout. Number 3, one of the center defenders. Donaldson turns quick. Bailey Winkle. Another nice move to the inside. Loses 2 men. Decides to settle it down. The captain, Chris Walter. It's McGrath. Midfield, Donaldson. Far side. Johnny Macbeth. Played off a couple of legs and out for a Blitzer's corner. So as we prepare to enter our 17th minute of play here from Ojai Stadium, we come to the piece that is key on a lot of games for FC Buffalo. Their set pieces. First corner kick. They'll be taken far side of the field here by Donaldson. With goals at a premium, this could be big. Donaldson swings it into the box, punched away, still loose, bounces a little bit away from Winkle, chips it overhead, into the box, headed on! And played nicely by Toland. That might have been bound for the bar, but Flowers is up to catch it regardless. Very dangerous offensive chance there for the Blitzers. And they'll be their first official target, their first official shot on target, that is to say. Quickly the other way, Bell looking, taken away by Trout. To midfield. Volleyed nicely by Donaldson, but cut off. McGivern through to the middle. Sveko. And now Macbeth. Up to Gascott. Or Mario Gascott. You can sense his frustration a little bit with how he's been penned in so far on a couple of 50-50 calls that have all gone the other way. Flowers, long with room and time. They'll walk it up. Chipped through to Beck. Beck back to the midfield. Gina. Beck with a little bit of room behind Winkle. Near side looking to cross it in. Drives it in low and handled very nicely there by Trout. Settled down. Kieran Toland. Walter making a nice run for it. He'll get there, keeps it in. Drives it up. Macbeth, the offside flag is down. Johnny Macbeth still with the ball. Oh, couldn't beat the second man. Gina irate with the near side linesman at the lack of a call, but that was nothing short of a well-timed run from number 32 in blue. And he was one more move away from having a one-on-one with the Cleveland keeper. Paredes will take this throw here for the Blitzers. And he'll throw it in. Headed on by McGrath, but no one on the other end of it. He has won another throw. And again, thank you for joining us here on this lovely Friday evening full of sports in Buffalo, and we're so happy you chose to spend it with us. Jeff Boyd and Justin Eric, 716 Sports Podcast. Almost interrupted by Bailey Winkle's scoring chance. I'd like to thank, of course, WNY Media for allowing us to join them, providing the video to go along with us here throughout the season. It's been wonderful working with them, working with SC Buffalo, and getting the chance to do what we really love to do, which is bring sports to you. 20th minute of play here. We are still tied 0-0. Both teams have had their chances. Both teams very sound defensively. Cut off there nicely off the goal kick, and Cleveland forced back. Beck knocked away nicely by Paredes, but Beck gets it back. Chipped on to Gina, near side. Runs it up, looking through, looking for Bell, and finds instead the head of David Acuna Camacho, who will clear it out for a Cleveland throw. Acuna Camacho not content there to take any chances. Beck on the near side will take the throw for Cleveland. Beck throws it into the box. That's a dangerous play. Macbeth is back. It's still loose in the box. And sliding in to take it away is Donaldson. Danger not entirely cleared, at least not for that moment. A play up ahead by Sveko, looking for Crawford. Ends up going off of Crawford and out of play for a Buffalo throw. Up ahead over the head of Kieran Toland. Still able to volley it up. Can't quite get it back. Eludes McGrath. And Cleveland again. Gina. Turning now. Potoknik. Back to Drezik. Far side. Still driven into the box. Knocked away for a second by Trout. Settled down by Beck. Near side. Gina. Tried to go through the legs of Paredes. I believe we have an offside flag. We do. Will be an FC Buffalo throw here coming out of this brief interlude in play. It is Acuna Camacho wearing the captain's band today, and not Chris Walter, number 2, who will take that kick. Ball loose if only for a moment. Cleveland scoops it up. Potoknik plays it back. Gascott pressuring Long, but Long able to turn. Taken away by Winkle. One chip on. Romario Gascott is onside in the box. Looking right foot, tries to slide it through. It's it! Oh! What a beautiful pass by Romario Gascott. And he finds the waiting Kieran Toland. And just as quick as that, it's 1-0 FC Buffalo. And Justin, you talked about the speed and lateral quickness of Bailey Winkle creating the turnover there and just 2 touches to a goal.
And to finish that, I mean, Gascott with like prolific patience and deadly precision on that pass. What a play all around.
It is great touch on that pass by Gascott. Really great vision of the field to be able to find Toland making a run in. And when it seems like AFC Cleveland very comfortable defensively on that play, Long let it get away from him. Bailey Winkle makes him pay. And a little bit of gamesmanship on the near side between Long and Winkle continues. And the Blitzers, to the delight of the Situation Room, who has found another life to add to the life they already had. FC Buffalo finds themselves again at home scoring first. A trend I think we can grow accustomed to. Officially a 23rd minute goal for Kieran Toland from Romario Gascott. And all the credit to Scott here. He has played with some frustration early on and really able to channel that, find his patience, make a quality pass through. Cleveland now will be trying to answer. Sonda. That's not going to help. Quick turnover taken away here on a throw now for FC Buffalo. We'll wait on officials. Unofficially, the first goal of the season for Kieran Toland. Speaking of Toland, drives it up near side, looking for Winkle, maybe a little bit adventurous, and cut off by Beck. Beck turns. Gina loses his footing, taken away. Paredes now with numbers. Brian Paredes. Near side, Winkle with tons of room. Swings it in low. Try to get a little bit of air under that, mayhaps. Cut off there nicely. Sliding in for a play. Able to keep it in is Donaldson. Winkle, one-on-one near side. Oh, Gina lost his footing. Winkle unfortunately lost the ball. Potoknik. He'll leave it back for McGivern. Sveko. Back to McGivern. And back to Sveko. Left in the middle. Swung here near side over the head of Gina by a good couple feet. And it'll be an FC Buffalo throw. We'll take this moment while the ball goes into the tunnel to thank our sponsors here at the 716 Sports Podcast. Those being Lockhouse Distillery and Bar in the Cobblestone District here in Buffalo. I'm a big fan of all the people there, and it's incredible to see their business truly growing. And also our friends, of course, at thenickelcity.com, who are kind enough to provide us with some t-shirts for the podcast, of which I am wearing here right now here today. Who does a great job in helping sponsor the web stream. I hope a number of you are enjoying either live here tonight, or perhaps a little bit later on. You can find it on YouTube, or their various social media that FC Buffalo has spread it around. 26 minute of action here as AFC Cleveland tries to find themselves an answer. The 23rd minute goal by Kieran Toland from Romario Gascott. Truly a beautiful play. Something that's been lacking a little bit, mayhaps, from the Blitzers at points this season.
You're seeing a lot of patience in their attack today. They usually get a little skittish when they're attacking, but a lot of patience here today.
And it won't be the only time I say it here today, but a lot of credit goes to Brendan Murphy and this FC Buffalo coaching staff. This does not look like the same group of 11 men. Although it's the same roster, basically, here today at least. We'll talk about that a little bit later, some additions they've made. But how different, how much more patient, and how much more of a sense of team unity there really is. That one is swung in dangerously. And Nick Jeffs makes no mistake. And Bell was the end target of that swing in there from Potoknik. Jeffs with the goal kick. Midfield finds the back of Kieran Toland, taken away there nicely, though, by Deresic. Left there in the middle to Sonda. Back it goes, Sveko. Swings it back to Long. Cleveland has certainly had the majority of the attack so far, but not the majority of chances. Another nice play there on the near side. Bailey Winkle. I just feel like he's been everywhere. That ball bounces twice, still inbounds, and eventually finally bounds out for a Cleveland throw. Long will take it here. Number 17 in white. Or may not, perhaps not. He'll leave it off there for Beck. Beck throws into McGivern. Gascott on his horse again to pressure. Macbeth backtracking. And he has won a free kick. Just on the Cleveland side of midfield here. It'll be taken by Donaldson. You'll see him take a number of the set pieces, at least those from the attacking left side. The right-footed midfielder. Drives it low, swings it into the box. Volleyed on by McGrath. Knocks loose still, but not quite able to find anyone there with a great effort to keep it from going up past the touchline was Macbeth. But all he could do was knock it to the middle, hope to find some legs. Quickly back in defense. FC Buffalo able to regroup. Trout. Donaldson. Up ahead. Scott's still finding the energy to make these runs. Not quite able to get on the end of that one, though, and Cleveland back the other way. Bell. On forward. Sveko. Taken away there nicely by Acuna Camacho. Walter turns. And it knocked away by Sonda, but it turns into a Buffalo throw. Walter in to Johnny Macbeth. Macbeth cuts back a little bit. Ball is deflected and taken away by Cleveland. One touchdown by Beck looking for Bell. And Bell, who had to change direction. That was Gina, who had to change direction. They're not quite able to get there before the ball rolls out of play. 30th minute of action here from Buffalo today. It is still 1-0 FC Buffalo leading AFC Cleveland here from All High Stadium. Ball deflected off the legs of Beck and out of play. Nicely played there. Smart play by Ian McGrath. McGrath, the lone goal scorer in FC Buffalo's last home contest here 12 days ago against FC Indiana, a 1-0 victory. And I'm sure if you ask Coach Brendan Murphy how he felt about that score, he said, "I'll take another one."
Fans, if you're looking for a great soccer camp for your
Thrown in here on the near side, over the head of everyone in white. Back to Acuna Camacho, near side, Brian Paredes. Trout, try to get it back to Paredes. Winkle almost able to keep it in with a sliding back heel, but it rolls out of play, and Beck will try again. And a third time, as the ball almost takes out a poor young fan in a Lionel Messi jersey. Almost happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Take 3 for that throw-in from Beck. Overhead by Bell. Looking for Gina. And no one able to get on the end of that. Goes out of play. And it will be a goal kick. So if you look at the recent schedule for FC Buffalo, their recent results, everything you could hope for and more. 1-0 home victory against FC Indiana, then goes there to FC Indiana, wins 1-0 there. Down late in a 90-plus degree day against Indy 11 MPSL, a team that has hoisted a number of banners. Able to pull out a late equalizer, 4 big points on the road. And certainly looking to continue that momentum here today against a very good, very game AFC Cleveland squad. Far side, that is Doresic. The middle to Sonda. Winkle able to get there and take it away. Chipped away from him, though. Maybe a little bit too fancy that time. Gina. 1 through to Bell. And Donaldson able to win it away from him. Paredes back to the middle. Trout will settle it down. Acuna Camacho. Chips it ahead, looking for Gascott. That one is headed away there nicely, though, by Long. Still, though, Gascott does enough to force Cleveland to regroup. McGivern. Through to the middle. Potoknik. And back to McGivern. McGivern forced back to his keeper there. Nicely pressured there by Bailey Winkle. Long. And again, Winkle forces it back to Flowers. Doresic. Doresic turns and leaves it. Back to McGivern it goes. Cleveland taking their time here, setting up their attack. Bell. Pressured by Acuna Camacho, and Acuna Camacho wins it away. Driven low by Donaldson. Finds Gascott. Gascott turns. Near side, Bailey Winkle. And just able to elude him. Winkle pounding the ground in frustration there, and the ball came right back to him. He wasn't ready for it.
Play to the whistle, kids.
Knocked away there by Beck and cut off again by Acuna Camacho. It feels like every ball through has found the FC Buffalo back line, at least thus far. 34th minute of play is upon us here. Neither team has made any changes to their starting 11 to this point. Bell in the box. Plays it through, taken away, though, nicely by Paredes. Drives it to midfield, where it's cut off there nicely by McGivern. He'll turn. Looking up there, the far side to Doresic. Doresic gets it back. It's taken away there by Macbeth. If you feel like you're seeing Johnny Macbeth everywhere, so am I.
The one thing you hate to see is a player exude frustration while play is going on. As we just saw moments ago with Bailey Winkle, the ball trickled through, and he had nothing but green in front of him between him and Flowers.
And you saw Coach Brendan Murphy quick to his feet to admonish his young player. Certainly hope that's a lesson to be learned. Donaldson does a great job there taking it away from Sonda, who had almost found himself a little bit of room in the box. Danger not over yet. Cleveland with an advantageous position for this throw. About 25 yards or so out of goal. Throw it into the box. Bell. Sonda one-on-one over there with Walter. And it is out for a throw, I believe. I'm not going to call it a free kick. I'm going to call a foul there on Sonda on the far side. Far side linesman had seen a little bit too much contact. It'll be David Acuna Camacho who will take it. Drives it up a good distance. Looking on the far side for Macbeth or Gascott. Neither one able to get there. Headed out there by McGivern. It will be an FC Buffalo throw. Walter in. Quick turning is Toland. Toland chips it. Macbeth couldn't quite settle it down. And Sveko now back the other way. Deresic makes a nice play around Walter. Sveko. Still. Contact through the back. No whistle. Macbeth maybe got away with one and promptly turned it right back over. Bell. Bell looking for Gina here on the near side. Swings it through to him. And what a play by Paredes for a moment. Now, excuse me, a whistle is called. But they're going to call Gina for mayhaps a little bit of embellishment. Went down like Brock Lesnar just punched him in the mouth. There's your UFC reference for the day.
Lovely analogy.
Acuna Camacho will take the free kick. Bit of strategy we've seen so far here today from FC Buffalo. You know, they're really trying to force these Cleveland defenders to backtrack. Even if nothing comes from it, they're really trying to make them. That one eludes Macbeth and will go out here for a Cleveland throw for a moment. Back now the Blitzers. McGrath looking for Winkle, couldn't quite get it to him. And chipped up ahead there by Gina. Cut off by Acuna Camacho, last man back, and McGrath backtracking to Donaldson. Trying to test that right side of the Cleveland defense. And Chris Walter almost came away with that one clean. Sveko, though, has earned the throw. In it comes, cut off immediately by Donaldson. Cut off again there nicely. FC Buffalo back 4. Contact and a foul in midfield. Sveko not happy. But he went through the back of both of the legs of Johnny Macbeth to get to that ball. Donaldson. It's about 30 yards or so out. A little bit far out to maybe take a clean shot at goal, but certainly a dangerous position. He's got a pretty good look at his teammates in the box. Good number of them forward. Driven in. Knocked away. Winkle. Takes it wide. Gascott through here near side. McGrath with a little bit of room to work with. Swings it in towards goal. That one took an interesting arc. Ends up going over the bar and out of play. You knew he was trying to curve that one back in here a little bit. Try to keep it away from the keeper, keep it out of his reach. But certainly, of course, you want your teammates to ultimately be able to get to that one. It's a goal kick here for Flowers for Cleveland as we enter the 39th minute of play here from All High Stadium. Flowers will drive it up. It finds midfield. Headed away for a moment. Big collision. McGrath wins it. Knocked down for a moment there by Long. You see some tired legs mayhaps as McGivern starts to circle back a little bit here. These Cleveland defenders have earned their starting positions today. The FC Buffalo goal, just one of those picture-perfect passing plays that you can only prepare for to such an extent. Long, taken away by Winkle for a moment, but now back to Gina. Towards midfield, leaves it back there for Potoknik. McGivern making a big run up here. Deresic back to McGivern. And he and Son to play catch. Deresic. And McGivern once more. FC Buffalo not allowing any sort of movement in behind. Deresic visibly is frustrated, signaling his teammates to show themselves. Patoknik can't get it away from Macbeth. Unfortunately for FC Buffalo, no one was far enough forward to get to that ball. And fortunately for FC Buffalo, that ball is driven far out of play for a blitzer's throw.
Well, FC Buffalo's playing outstanding defense right now. AFC Cleveland has also helped them a bit, as you see no offensive movement at all out of any of the forwards. They're all just standing still, watching the guy with the ball most of the match.
Yeah, you see Deresic throwing up his arms there in frustration that he couldn't find anyone here. Patoknik with a little bit of room in the box. Patoknik towards the middle, knocked away by a diving Nick Jeffs. Punches it clear. First real active test of Nick Jeffs, and he comes up all aces. An underrated part of that punch by Jeffs is his ability to punch it clear and not just clear punch it out of play for a corner. He's able to punch it and know where his defenders are, to punch it to a teammate.
Great field awareness right there by Jeffs, for sure.
Of course, there's situations as a keeper where you can't necessarily do that. But a great place of awareness there. Complete control so far for the FC Buffalo keeper. Gascott circles back, finds his man, that's Macbeth. Macbeth leaves it. Now it's Bailey Winkle. He'll circle back. Trout. Acuna Camacho. And back to Trout once more. To the middle. Down with an answer, taken away right back. Here we come again. McGrath, far side. Kieran Toland is there. Chips it back one touch to Macbeth. Lets it elude him. And he can't get there. A key unforced turnover mayhaps in that situation. Sonda, near side to Bell. Bell looking, makes a nice move into the box. Sea of legs, and that one found the foot, if only for a moment, of Deresic. Well, maybe not. Say FC Buffalo has given a corner. The 42nd minute of play here as we rapidly approach stoppage time in the first of two halves here from Ojai Stadium. The first corner of the match here for AFC Cleveland. And we'll see if FC Buffalo can defend this first set piece as well as they attacked on their own. With a bit of a delay here as the... Oh, I feel vindicated. Far side linesman has indeed ruled that it did hit the foot of Deresic and scratched that corner kick. Nick Jeffs will instead take a goal kick. Yeah, I just automatically assume in any situation like that I'm wrong and the referee is right. So it feels good every once in a while to know that I saw something correctly. No goal. Nick Jeffs taking his time here, allowing his team to push forward, and would certainly be happy to go into the half with this 1-0 lead. A low line drive. Finds Johnny Macbeth. Left-footed effort on, turning is Ian McGrath, fighting through. Couldn't quite get free of Sonda. Gascott's still pressuring everyone wearing white. Forces that one out for a Cleveland throw. Patoknik is starting to see Gascott in his visions with his eyes closed. Big collision at midfield. Both players go flying. It's Macbeth and Deresic, who are both in no rush to get to their feet. An FC Buffalo defender stepping in between a Cleveland player and the official, claiming malice mayhaps on the behalf of Johnny Macbeth. It certainly looked like both players were just trying to kick the ball at the same time and instead kick shins. The referee also disagrees with me. Big surprise. It is a yellow to Johnny Macbeth. Mayhaps a little bit of unfortunate timing to catch Deresic the way he did.
To me, there's like a collision in another sports match.
Yeah, it looked like a 50-50 ball. Both players seem to have a right to it. Neither player got it. But one of the rules sometimes in sports, unfortunately to say in any sport,
Trainer coming out the field to bring him a juice box, make sure he's okay.
The player who stays down the longest much rather him be.
Two down.
Really? Well, that really ruins the St. Louis Blues' plans. They tweeted out today they were hoping to get Austin Matthews at 28. So I'm sure they'll be sad to see that Austin is off the board already. Derezik is back to his feet. I don't know if he'll be forced to take a seat. Appears to be favoring his right arm a little bit. Side receiving attention. We do have a sub, I believe. Let me count quick. We do not have a sub yet. Derezik has to wait until the ball is back in play to rejoin. Driven on there. Off the free kick by Long. Knocked away nicely by Toland to Gascott. Gascott turns to the far side. Off-footed attempt forward to Toland. There's a lot of room here on the near side if they want it. Brian Paredes with an eternity of time. Up to Winkle. Winkle still tried to chip it through and couldn't quite. Walter made an adventurous run from his right back position to about an attacking midfield. Cleveland now trying to answer. Sonda. We're in stoppage time for the record. 47th minute. And we will actively wait for and receive our halftime whistle. So if you're Coach Brendan Murphy, you like what you see thus far. At the half here from All High, FC Buffalo leads AFC Cleveland by the score of 1-0. We're going to enjoy the second half of action from All High. Again, I'm Jeff Boyd here with Justin Ehrig for the 716 Sports Podcast.
of action here from All High Stadium. Both teams making their way out to the field here. And if you're Coach Brendan Murphy, you've got to be very happy with what you saw there, Justin, through the first 45 minutes of action here today with that 1-0 lead.
You know, if I'm Murphy, I'm very happy, and I don't know what to do with my lineup the rest of the game. Everyone's playing so well, especially with Bailey Winka playing as well as he is. Biles into this roster right now.
Likely we'll see a couple of new faces in the second half at some point, because Scott usually goes very hard for about 60 to 65 minutes or so before earning himself some rest. Isaiah Barrett, Jim Orvis, Reagan Steele, Sam Biles, and Kendall McFadden are your non-goalkeeper available subs here today. There's a couple more that are still making their way out of the tunnel. I will try to catch their numbers for you. Cleveland making their way out to the field here finally as well. For the second half, FC Buffalo will be going from broadcast. We'll start with that from Kieran Toland off a beautiful pass by Romario Gascott. And to finish out those subs that are available here today for FC Buffalo, it's Philip Person, Gales. Goalkeeper sub is Steve Casey, who we saw here a couple times here when Nick Jeffs was sorting his way through some injuries earlier on this year. And if you are wondering, hometown listeners, the Sabres have still not quite picked yet, although I believe they should be on the clock here momentarily. We will let you know. 45 more minutes to go here if you're Coach Brendan Murphy and FC Buffalo, away from potentially handing AFC Cleveland their first loss of the season. As we mentioned earlier on in the contest, this is a much more focused and organized group of players than we saw earlier on this season when FC Buffalo traveled to Cleveland and came up empty-handed in that road match.
FC Buffalo is using a very defensive posture today and really stifling the attack of this AFC Cleveland team.
Yeah, Bell has not been able to find any room. He is, at least in the starting lineup, the only attacker, the only striker, that is to say, who was listed in their formation. Not to say anyone else has been pressuring forward, but there's been no room for Bell. Good to see that the coaching staff here for Buffalo maybe wisened up a little bit to some things that were not working well in their first contest, and that's the advantage of having another match here against teams that you know so well. AFC Cleveland here off the bat has taken the ball here. They did have a lot of possession in the first half, not a lot of chances, only 2 shots on goal to show for it. Very good one off the foot of Patoknik. Near side right in front of us here is Johnny Macbeth. Through a sea of players, punched away from him, though, nicely by Sveko. And back comes Cleveland. Sliding in expertly is Walter. Sveko lets it go out of bounds for a throw. Just a minute gone. You can already feel the intensity being ratcheted. AFC Cleveland knows they need to find an equalizer here in the second half. And every minute that goes by, that becomes more difficult to do.
It's a poor match for both teams. AFC Cleveland wants
game here at this point of the they've certainly made up for it of late. Acuna Camacho ahead looking for Winkle, punched away. But Paredes is there. Paredes with a nice run through to midfield. Finds Toland with a little bit of room to work, but he's going to make the smart play there, circle back. Find Macbeth, let his team join the rush. Johnny Macbeth on his off foot. Left-footed play through. Scott tried to knock it through. A little bit of contact. But perhaps a fair amount. And more contact in midfield, and this time the referee brings his whistle out to whistle Toland for a little bit too much contact on Doresik.
I feel like FC Buffalo's going to start finding a lot more room for themselves coming up pretty soon. A team undefeated does not like to lose. They're going to start pushing more and more. A couple steps further here and there. There'll be some fuel for the Blitzers to operate in.
This is Soljevic, who's a halftime sub for Cleveland, who now has the ball. Knocks it up far side to Long. Long up ahead. And all he finds is Keith Trout. Trout with nowhere to go, but back all the way to his goaltender, Nick Jeffs. Jeffs with time. Line drive, kick up to midfield, punched away by Soljevic. Answered by Acuna Camacho, but now Gina. to Bell. Soljevic looking on the near side, a nice ball through. And Johnny Macbeth does a good job turning away Saveco for a moment. Saveco's got another cross through, and that's headed away there nicely by Donaldson. Still danger, slid in, and able to be answered yet again by Nick Jeffs at full reach. I don't believe Patoknik was able to get a lot on that weird angled ball that came into him. Danger nonetheless.
It's a second huge save by Jeffs to keep the score at 1-0.
It'll be the first official AFC Cleveland corner here. Near side taken here by Patoknik. Drives it in far side by Soljevic. And he holds his head in confusion and frustration. Quality ball in though by Patoknik. Look at that, it was like exactly where he's aiming it. Now back for Buffalo is Walter. Walter leaves it. Acuna Camacho to midfield. And he finds Kieran Toland, the lone goal scorer so far in this contest, giving Buffalo this 1-0 lead that they nurse here into the 50th minute of action. Walter knocked down there on the near side by Sonda. Finds Patoknik. Sonda trying to find some room in the middle. Acuna Camacho says no way. Makes two great defensive plays and wins a throw. David Acuna Camacho hit every check mark on that list of great defensive plays. A couple of Buffalo players getting loose here on the near side. That's McFadden and Barrett, and I believe Sam Biles. They're not wearing the numbers on the warm-up jersey. Walter with the throw for the Blitzers. Another big collision in midfield. Ends up on the foot of Toland. A little bit of contact through the back by Soljevic, and he is wincing. I believe that left wrist that's taped up got caught. Bailey Winkle with some room on the far side. Swings it in, looking for Macbeth, and does not find him. Goal kick. Kieran Toland still wincing. Soljevic got a good bit of that left arm, and that wrist is heavily taped. Did not stop him from scoring that goal, but it might hamper him in the basketball game later this evening. Driven on by Flowers. Midfield answered by McGrath. Duresic. Soljevic now. Back to Duresic. Comes near side, swings it around to McGivern. Slowed by Gascott. Gascott wins it clean and wins himself a throw. Much to the dismay of Zveko. Chris Walter with the throw-in. Gascott appeals for handball from the Cleveland coaching staff go unanswered. Regardless, he turns it over. Patoknik up ahead now. Knocked down there by Sonda. Sonda turns. Patoknik. Excuse me, that's Soljevic. To Duresic. Over again. Soljevic.
Buffalo selects Alex Nylander.
I think they've got to be happy with that pick. Into the box it goes. A lot of contact between Acuna Camacho and Zveko. Neither of them able to make contact with the ball, and Nick Jeff scoops it up. Rolls it near side. Walter up ahead, Johnny Macbeth. Back to Walter. Looking for Cascada, knocked away. Way downfield, beautiful ball. But Acuna Camacho able to answer. That was Duresic for Cleveland, who just volleyed that ball about 55 yards. A little bit of miscommunication on the near side again for AFC Cleveland. Some players beginning to grow visibly frustrated. Walter another throw in looking for Toland, doesn't get there. Knocked down by Soljevic, leaves it for Duresic. Duresic. Back to McGivern. And they'll cycle it back to Beck. Back to the middle. Duresic. Now Soljevic. Gina. Bell way back from his line. More contact. Throws an elbow. And Ian McGrath is irate. The one called for the foul.
It's absolutely ridiculous call right there by the referee.
Certainly a lot of contact both ways, but it's hard for me to see that any other way.
That was a UFC type of elbow. You don't see that in the octagon.
2 UFC references in one game. If you're wondering who we are and why we're making them, we're the 716 Sports Podcast, and I don't know why we're making them. I'm Jeff Boyd, joined by Justin Eric here this evening. Happy to join you for another FC Buffalo home game alongside our friends at WNY Media, who have been joining us this season, providing the video streams for these games as well there. And you could not ask for a better game to find us at here. This is my idea perfect summer now. Regardless of what I think about that elbow, free kick Cleveland. Soljevic into the box. Hit it onwards. One more touch and a beautiful volley by Gina. Not able to get on the end of it, though. By Cleveland's appealing for a corner kick. But that's just me. Nick Jess will take it here. As the FC Buffalo bench players continue to loosen. It's Kendall McFadden, Isaiah Barrett. And I believe I'll be corrected in saying that is actually goalkeeper Steve Casey, the third man who has been warming up. So we might see a keeping change there. We saw it earlier in the season that Nick Jeffs has come up a little bit lame from a full extension attempt. He made a couple amazing saves. He's frustrated he's not allowed to be subbed for here. Casey now with his jersey on the bench. Jeff's forced to stay in and kicks it near side to Walter. Back to Jeffs. He's signaling towards his left leg. Nice aggressive pressure play there. Smartly perhaps from Bell. Regardless of what you think about it. It is another goal kick. I believe the dispute with the official that took some time there was that he wanted his his trainer to be able to bring him a knee brace, and for whatever reason, that was denied by the linesman. Acuna Camacho looking for Macbeth, can't find him out of play. It'll be a Cleveland throw. Nick Jeffs, one of the big reasons why this game is still 1-0 FC Buffalo. 3 saves tonight, 2 on very good diving efforts. Donaldson knocks it ahead. Scott knocks it down, can't settle it quite enough. Toland has won a throw. That's a first. For those of you not as familiar with All-High Stadium, there is an awning that overhangs the seated area, and the ball is currently on top of it.
As he went over the roof into the street.
Oh, those food trucks better watch out. I can smell them wafting into the stadium every week. It becomes increasingly hard to not just go out there and eat my way through halftime.
I did.
I've got that will, Justin. I'm finding it. Got like one more home game and then the playoffs, hopefully. He's got to keep finding that will to just struggle through. Cleveland now. Nicely challenged by Acuna Camacho off the foot of Sanda. To the tune of the referee's whistle for a foul. Kendall McFadden, number 23 in blue, is set to check in here for FC Buffalo. He also has his left wrist taped. Driven up there nicely by McGivern towards the corner of the box and knocked down by Winkle. Nice little volley. Scott settles it down. He'll turn. Looking for teammates, looking for support. Leaves it for Johnny Macbeth. Macbeth drives it up ahead. Winkle still running, and he couldn't quite get it to him. Bailey Winkle with a nice little 70-yard dash. At the very least, forcing AFC Cleveland's defense to turn and work. Sljevic swings it around near side. Finds McGivern. Gascott with a challenge. Takes it away from him one-on-one. Plays it through. Romario Gascott with a beautiful play. Still on this foot. Looking back. Leaves it for Macbeth in the off-footed effort. Over the bar. Romario Gascott. How do you do?
It was a FIFA 17 quality move right there.
The spinning nutmeg through the legs of the defender for Cleveland.
You know,
We're seeing a second sub for Cleveland, our first for FC Buffalo. And Romario Gascott, to a rousing set of applause here from the supporters, has earned himself a rest. Kendall McFadden will come on for him.
as I was saying, Cleveland's still standing around a lot while the man with the ball is forced to make something happen. And that chance by Gascott was all created because the Cleveland defender had nowhere to go with the ball at all.
It is more Food, who's on now for Cleveland, number 3, who has settled in, at least in his early positioning, to a right midfield. McFadden, who played some defense earlier on in the season, at least was lovely. It's got spotted striker, at least for now. Sonda. Looking for Bell. Will go up far side. There is a whistle. The play is offside. Much to the chagrin of Deresic. Paredes will take this free kick. We have our second sub set to check in for FC Buffalo any moment, at least the next whistle in play. We'll get to that in a moment as Walter heads it on to Kendall McFadden. Chests it down, finds Kieran Soland, and he's offside. It is number 18 for FC Buffalo. That is Philip Person, who is having one last discussion with his coaching staff in preparation for becoming the second new face in the second half here for the Blitzers. Waiting for the referee's signal, which will come on a situation where FC Cleveland is not at advantage. Long will take this free kick here for Cleveland. Drives it up, looking for Bell. Bell gets tangled up with Trout. Second ball is won by Acuna Camacho. Marfoot. Through to Bell, chips it on. Head nicely looking back for Marfoot and cut off there beautifully by Brian Paredes. A beautiful setup there by AFC Cleveland. That's the kind of passing you would expect out of a team that comes into today's contest, 6 wins and a draw. There is that whistle. Near side linesman has signaled for the sub, and it will be Philip Person who will be that sub. Number 18 in blue. Out of University of Albany, originally from Norrköping, Sweden. And he will check on here for Johnny Macbeth.
FC Buffalo substitution number 18, Philip Person, number 32, Johnny Macbeth.
Another great effort here from Johnny Macbeth today, as we've come to expect from him. We approach rapidly the 63rd minute of play, and we still find our score to be FC Buffalo 1, AFC Cleveland 0 here from All High Stadium. A beautiful day in downtown Buffalo, New York. FC Buffalo will now have their chance at a throw in here. It's Paredes. Throws it in, looking for Toland. Doesn't quite find him. Contested, though. Forcing FC Cleveland to circle back. McFadden now takes the spot that Gascott was in of pressuring these defenders, forcing them to work. Deresic. Up here near side. McGivern. Cut off nicely by Winkle. Overheaded by Donaldson. McGivern turns it around. Sonda from our foot. And cut off there, Bailey Winkle again. Still tons of life in those legs. Wins another ball away. On a run now, McFadden to the outside. Cuts into the middle. Kendall McFadden's shot is blocked away. In play, it stays, though. Back. McGrath chests it down. Beck will try once more. Mark Foot. Near side. Leaves it for Sveko. Sveko on throw. Kendall McFadden almost became the second goal scorer last week. Last home match, I should say, for FC Buffalo. Rung one off the bar against FC Indiana. Person all tangled up there with Sonda and has won his team a throw. It seems fitting on a night where a lot of media attention is focused on the NHL draft that we should be talking about a Scandinavian athlete. Third FC Buffalo sub is coming in. It's Isaiah Barrett, and Bailey Winkle, who looks as fresh as he was in the first minute, has earned himself a breather nonetheless.
I wonder if there's any relation to former Sabres first-round pick Dennis Person.
Are you trying to Google that right now?
That's what I was looking up.
And 5 Sabres first-round draft pick, never played a game for the club. You know how I'm calling soccer? I just called the Sabres a club instead of a team. I'm learning. I'm learning the lingo. McFadden heads it down. Person nicely through. McFadden. Oh, beautiful play. Can't quite, though, get around McGivern. Got good recovery speed, and it's a foul on McFadden for trying to make one too many moves. Long. Over to Beck. Pressured now by Isaiah Barrett. He's wearing number 11 in blue, for those of you keeping score at home. Leaves it. Donaldson is joining the rush. Drives it up. Looking for Tolan. Play is onside. Tolan chests it down. He's in the box. Looking to swing it. High knuckleballer. Off the foot of Beck, still in. And he gets it up to Soljevic. Soljevic. Up. Turn. Looking for Marfoot on the run, and that ball will find its way out past the touchline for a throw. The 66th minute of play here. We are still seeing FC Buffalo hold on to that 1-0 lead on that 22nd minute goal from Kieran Toland, assisted by Romario Gascott. A beautiful sliding effort there from Donaldson, who's had himself a great game here today. I feel oftentimes defensive efforts not nearly as appreciated sometimes on the stat sheets as your offensive efforts, but Donaldson and that back line, Walter Paredes, Trout, and Acuna Camacho, are as much of the reason that FC Buffalo is leading as their goal scorer.
They're playing a very patient game today, allowing play to come to them as opposed to attacking the opposing attackers.
You're really letting the game come to them. You can really afford to do, especially when you have a... Paredes turns it over in midfield, and Cleveland will circle back. Bell tried to get around Trout, and Trout is having none of it. McGrath, nicely played ball. Isaiah Barrett's got a little room to work there on the far side. Barrett leaves it for Toland. Toland with a drive, and that is off the shoulder of Daresic.
It was a kick, but then that's what caused the Cleveland defender to get time to block that.
It's almost see the thought process of Toland, whether he wanted to have the go there from about 20 or so yards out. And by the time he came to his conclusion, Daresic had closed it down entirely. Pressure still on here from the Blitzers. Situation Room chanting them on here for a very advantageous throw-in. Knocked away, though, nicely by Beck. Soljevic. Donaldson and a number of players are tangled. Whistle is called. Free kick for Buffalo. Soljevic and Paredes, who are a mess of legs. One man away from an octopus. Walter now towards the box. Oh, it gets through! McFadden! You could see Flowers' life flash before his eyes. It got through his defender, who had nothing but time and space to win the ball. McFadden, who by that point was so far into his run, all he could do was kind of try to chip the goaltender and hope that it landed in. Just missed it over the bar.
I think that ball making it through surprised everybody. There's so much spin in that ball. The defender misjudged it and totally whiffed on it.
We're a good 60 or so yards away from the Cleveland goal, and I saw Flowers' eyes pop out of his head from here. Lucky for him, ultimately shot was not on target due to the fact that McFadden by that point was so far deep into the crease that all he could do was poke it and pray. Person, back to McFadden. Taken away, though, nicely by Beck. Marfoot tries to leave it and does. Back to Sveko and taken right away by McGrath. Person looking to find McFadden on the far side. Can't quite, and Soljevic will try to settle it down. Beck to Bell. Didn't quite get there. Cut off nicely by Keith Trout. The one thing I think that really sets apart the FC Buffalo defense from some other teams that we've seen come in here this season is the level of communication, understanding of each other's position that they show. On a play like that, where Paredes is really pressuring up the left side, you see Trout really widen his stance, widen his position, and when that ball comes in off the left side, he's already there. There's no recovery. It's just an understanding of where he has to be. Isaiah Barrett drives it, looking for McFadden, and McFadden won't even turn and watch that one, because that one sails about 25 yards over his head. Cleveland throw. Sveko will take it. McGrath had a pretty solid hold there on Sonda. Has earned himself a foul. Hard to argue with that one. Paredes nicely heads that effort down to Donaldson. Donaldson, Barrett turning, leaves it back for Donaldson. Chips it up ahead, well ahead of McFadden. We've crossed into the 71st minute of play. In this meantime, McFadden not content to give up on that ball and just couldn't quite win it before it went out of play for a goal kick. Really lulled the defender there. Looked like he had completely let up. They made a nice late charge in. Flowers miraculously recovered from that collision with McFadden a few minutes ago. Drives it to midfield, looking for Bell, and it's cut off. All the way back it goes to Flowers. Leaves it now. McGivern. Back to Soljevic. Soljevic plays catch with Deresic for a moment. FC Buffalo is not trying to pressure too high there, although their line of attack is a little bit farther up than we saw it in the first half. What a beautiful tackle there from Walter to win that ball away. Person. Acuna Camacho does a good job punching it out of the box. Danger not entirely clear, but that ball takes a very favorable bounce over the head of Deresic, and Cleveland's forced to recover. And another well-won ball. Donaldson, who has been absolutely everywhere defensively. Isaiah Barrett now working the near side. Leaves it. Person into the middle. McFadden is all alone in front of goal, and he makes no mistake. 2-0.
Again, the patience in the attack right there. As he had a ball in the box, very close to the goaltender. Player pauses, and the attack.
That the way FC Buffalo was playing was very much set up for a counterattack. And now both of these FC Buffalo goals have come directly off the counterattack, again forcing the turnover. Donaldson sliding in and taking that ball, playing out wide, and just picture-perfect passing from Barrett to Person, and then McFadden, who does a beautiful job. I mean, it's no secret how big the net can be sometimes, especially when you're all alone in front of it. And he makes no mistake, making the goaltender act first and then putting it home. Unofficially, 71st minute goal. Kendall McFadden from Philip Person. It is 2-0 FC Buffalo. And how big could that second goal be? And keeping AFC Cleveland mayhaps from earning points for the first time this season. This team comes in today through 7 contests, 6-0-1. And FC Buffalo, if you're looking towards the playoffs, these are points that would be huge for them.
These are big points for the Butchers right now with them playing River Dogs tomorrow, and they're struggling mightily right now.
this upcoming Sunday, actually, in Rochester. The River Dogs hosting tonight Erie. And through halftime, Rochester was leading Erie 1-0. For those of you fans who are looking towards traveling, you can find the game Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Turns, leaves it for Long. And we will see what kind of mindset Cleveland has here. They really do have to press forward, now in need of 2 goals to draw this game even, although the scoreboard still, for the moment, reflects only 1. I appreciate this. Sorry, fix the scoreboard. Far be it for me to misrepresent them. There it is. And the cheers come up. It's officially 2-0. It doesn't mean anything until you see linesman Soljevic to take it. And he's only back there, I feel, because McFadden is cleanly are. That was Long who got a head on it. And he's had better. A local Canisius College product, although he traveled a good bit to get there. And Steele checks in with applause from the coaches. And Coach Brendan Murphy has not quite stopped telling him how well he played yet. Driven on there. Acuna Camacho took the goal kick for Jeffs, and you wonder how much his leg is bothering him. Slid in there. McGrath wins it away. Up far side looking for Barrett. And they've earned a throw. 77th minute of play now. Recent scoreboard update courtesy of Kendall McFadden. 72nd minute goal assisted by Philip Person. Home side, FC Buffalo leading AFC Cleveland now 2-0. And time is ticking away on the spotless, or at least lossless record here for Cleveland. Trout gets tangled and is guilty of a foul. You're likely to see them pressing forward as they are right now. Really trying to get this this first goal before they can even get that second goal. If they are to get any of them. The way the FC Buffalo defense and on the couple of chances they got through to Nick Jeffs have looked so far. Chances have been few and far between. Only 3 shots on goal for Cleveland. Unofficially 4 for FC Buffalo. That one's headed in by Bell. Off the foot of Beck, then to Bell. And we have, I believe, a corner kick. Yes, we do. It's going to be the second here for Cleveland. It's going to be taken on the far side there by Potoknik. Left-footed into the box, headed over the bar by Bell. It's almost got to be a little bit more frustrating for Cleveland to get on the end of all these set pieces and not be able to really test Nick Jeffs. Acuna Camacho again will be taking this goal kick for his keeper. You've got to wonder how much more Nick Jeffs has in him. He's been massaging his left leg during his opportunities to do so for about 20 minutes. Acuna Camacho up ahead, headed on and out of play by Philip Person.
Well,
Throw for Cleveland.
The defense really helping out Jeffs a lot with not allowing many shots.
Yeah, only 3, and that first one was not really much other than one that rolled into his arms. Well, the second and third ones demanding tons of effort, full stretch to keep his clean sheet. Long for Cleveland as we approach the 80th minute of play. Can Cleveland find a way to break through? Acuna Camacho let the one go off the side of his head, but Walter's there to bail him out a little bit, mayhaps. Still a Cleveland throw. Sonda will take it. Into Bell. Back to Sonda. Sonda through. Soljevic leaves it. Soljevic with one more move. Soljevic still into the box, and he couldn't get around Acuna Camacho. Walter will again knock it out for a throw. FC Buffalo content to not take any chances Near side, Sveko. Back to McGivern. Leaves it for Daresic. Daresic. Working his way towards the middle. Regan Steele challenges unsuccessfully. Sveko. Through. Tons of blue shirts everywhere. Sveko. Back to Sonda. Tries to chip it to Bell. Bell is still to win it back. Leaves it. Soljevic. Knocked away by Walter. Chipped out of play for a corner.
With the ball about 7 yards away from the goaltender, you're seeing no panic in FC Buffalo's game right here in defense at all.
Yeah, confidence-inspiring defensive effort. Corner taken quickly. It's headed on by Daresic. One hops off the logo on the jersey of Nick Jeffs.
When you have two leaders in the back end like Walter and Acuna Camacho, how can't you play with confidence?
Yeah, that back four that's been very much kept together, and you don't really see them taking breathers. Don't see them very frequently subbed off throughout the course of this season. Have truly become the backbone, and certainly two guys who have worn that captain sleeve throughout the season, and Walter and Acuna Camacho here on the near side, the left side of that defense, who are truly the cornerstone. McFadden on contested. He's won himself a free kick, I believe. Sorry, going the other way. It's on McFadden. Cleveland will take the free kick. Back. Excuse me, that's long. Long. Kicks it long to Bell. Headed on, knocked away by Acuna Camacho. Bell still there. Won away by Barrett for a moment. Driven from a good distance by Marfoot. Knocked away. Still gets it back. Pressure still not clear. Marfoot through. Soljevic challenging Walter. A little bit of contact. Out for a throw for FC Buffalo. More visible frustration on the faces of some Cleveland players. You have a card being shown for some of that frustration being shown towards the head official for Marfoot. It is the first for FC Cleveland. AFC Cleveland, my apologies. There is a bit of a distinction in the lore and setup of teams depending on their abbreviations. Traditionally, an AFC is more of a club run by the fans than an FC that is run by more of an organization.
I was going to ask what the ASA for.
No, it's fine. I'm glad I was able to impart some more knowledge. Marfoot is still chirping the official as that ball is thrown into. He's got Barrett all alone in the middle with him. Regan Steele couldn't quite. A great job getting back by McGivern. Regan Steele then tries to get it to McFadden, and it's out of play for a goal kick. Marfoot has been running his mouth to the near side linesman now for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Only one card thus far. We'll see. Flowers. Try to get it to Marfoot. Person read that well. And contentious to force him to throw it back in. In now. Sveko. Marfoot. One away nicely again by Person. Tons of contact. And a whistle for a free kick. And the frustration that was at one point just visible, then became verbal, and maybe now a little bit physical from AFC Cleveland. Daresic not doing his team any favors with giving FC Buffalo this very advantageous possession for a free kick. About 30 yards out, Donaldson will take it. Drives it in low to the middle, looking for Barrett. And that one got through everyone. Almost. It'll be a goal kick. Flowers. Hard for me to find blame for him for either of those goals. McFadden was all alone. It was just a perfect passing play by Scott through to Toland all alone for the first one.
Yeah, both players, he was just toasted by perfect passing. Nothing much you can do about that.
85th minute of play here. Still a 2-0 lead here for FC Buffalo, and take one last chance to thank you for listening to us. I'm Jeff Boyd, joined here today
by Justin Ehrig. We're here from the 716 Sports Podcast, excited to join WNY Media here. And thanks to FC Buffalo for a lot of fun here. Looking forward to being back here with you 2 weeks from tonight here, July 8th, for the last regular season FC Buffalo home contest. Another midfield collision, another foul on AFC Cleveland, another FC Buffalo free kick to be taken. Steele a little slowed, he's back to his feet. We do have one more sub. We will await the official timing of that. It should be any moment here. That is Braden Scales, number 14, who's going to check in here, giving Paredes a little bit of a breather here today. Paredes did a fantastic job of really pressuring that right side defensively, working his way up towards the midfield. And although he maybe commonly wouldn't earn a little bit of extra time on the bench with this 2-goal lead, Coach Murphy may be feeling content doing so. McFadden on play back from Barrett. And that one just missed the near side post. Goal kick. I believe this is Braden Scales' first time on the field here at home this season. Long to Dresik. Dresik over to Soljevic. Soljevic drives it ahead, looking for more foot. And Walter is there, big collision. And it is a free kick. 87th minute set piece. If you're Cleveland, there's referee walking the wall back. And this is one of those kicks from a position where if you drive it well, doesn't matter what the wall does. We'll see what Cleveland has here. We'll see if they can test Nick Jeffs from this distance. Driven, knocked away. Well defended by the wall. I believe that was Donaldson yet again. McFadden heads it upfield. Here comes Reagan Steele at a full sprint. And Dresik, last man back. And that was actually Reagan Steele, who was the man in the middle of that wall who knocked that shot down. Little bit too low off the foot of Soljevic. 88th minute now. We approach stoppage time. More foot drives it ahead. Nicely driven away there by Acuna Camacho. And Scales with his first touch. Deflected, but gets it through to Barrett. Barrett back to Scales, knocked down. Scales will have another shot at it. Braden Scales, a local product from Lockport, New York, went to UB. Takes the throw in. And at this point, every time there's a contested ball here for FC Buffalo, they're winning precious seconds off the clock that AFC Cleveland can't use to try to find some way to get on the scoreboard here. They need two. FC Buffalo already has them here in this 2-0 contest. Dresik. Looking for help here on the near side. Had Sveko turn back instead. Leaves it for Soljevic. Now he looks for Sveko. Gets it to him. Sveko on the near side, just inside the box. Low drive in. Is parried away nicely by Trout. Danger not quite clear. Marfoot double teamed on the near side. Forced to throw it in. Sveko will take the throw. Into Bell. Nicely played away, Ian McGrath. Another player having himself a very sound game at that center defensive midfield position he tends to find himself at. It's hard often to pinpoint where a lot of these FC Buffalo players are officially playing. They have their positions on the stat sheet for sure. But we see a number of players who are capable of playing both sides, who switch sides, pass into a more attacking position, and then settle back. McGrath is certainly one of those. A goal scorer at points this season, but today, essentially playing at points as a fifth defenseman. Soljevic in the 90th minute now. Through to Bell for only a moment. Braden Scales, the freshest legs on the field, gonna knock it out for a throw. Time running out here on AFC Cleveland. Away there nicely. Barrett wins it back. Person is there in the middle. gets it through. Reagan Steele scores! What a beautiful setup again by Philip Person. And Reagan, pretty good distance, put. And the FC Buffalo bench alike.
3 goals, the same number of points they're ripping away from Cleveland tonight.
And that third goal, as if it wasn't already solidified in the 90th minute, will certainly solidify 3 huge points in the MPSL standings here today for FC Buffalo. The first goal of the season for Reagan Steele, 90th minute from Philip Person. And as you alluded to here a couple times tonight, Justin, the passing here today for FC Buffalo and their counterattack has been fantastic.
It's been an unreal game overall by FC Buffalo, all around. Offense, defense, very unselfish play all around.
And this is a team that we didn't even get a chance to talk about it today throughout the action. Yesterday added 4 new faces before the roster deadline that will likely be making their practice debuts in the near future. We'll see if any of them make it onto the field here for our next home contest. Again, that's 2 weeks from tonight, 7 p.m. on July 8th here at Ojai Stadium. We certainly encourage you, if you're local, to come down and join us for the game. Come and say hi. And if you're joining us from out of town or unable to make it for that game for whatever reason, we certainly hope you'll tune in here and join us again. Myself and Justin will be down here. Maybe we'll bring some friends. Who knows?
You know, I wanted to pick a man of the match for tonight, but in a team effort such as this, it's hard to pick just one. Bailey Winkle really going the first half. But in the second half here, I want to go with Jack Donaldson. It really solidified the back end.
I'm going to go a little bit differently. My man of the match for the first half for me is Romario Gascot. Didn't really see a lot of results from his efforts early on, even though he was really forcing the defense back on their heels. Made the big play for that first FC Buffalo goal. My man of the match for the second half, though, efforts again. Person chips it in. And that one almost skipped away from him. Isaiah Berry let him in nicely. And Person, oh, smile. Why not 4? Well into stoppage time here. Referee's whistle ever nearing. Patoknik drives it in, looking for for Beck, and can't quite get it to him. Out for a goal kick. Nick Jeff's sore left leg and all is ever so close to making it through this game unblemished. I don't even know why I said that. Why do you ever talk about? You never talk about shutouts. Just never do it. It's like rule number 1 of broadcasting is you don't talk about shutouts. Acuna Camacho drives it up to midfield. Good distance at that. Headed on by Person. And the whistle is here. And just like that, a tenuous halftime lead turns into a 3-0 victory. And for the first time this season, AFC Cleveland tastes defeat. And 3 more big points for FC Buffalo as they continue this push, as they continue their push towards the playoffs. Their next contest coming up Sunday against the Rochester River Dogs with a Z. That's how you know they mean business. This Sunday at 2, their next home match 2 weeks from tonight, July 8th. And we certainly thank you very much for joining us. We're the 716 Sports Podcast. I'm Jeff Boyd. This is Justin Eric. Justin, thank you for joining me here this evening and getting your first chance at doing some color commentary. I hope you had as much fun as I did.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. So long, everybody.